We are recording this. Welcome to the 12th annual virtual Silver Spring Blues Festival week. And I'm Lisa Martin with Silver Spring Town Center, and we're thrilled to have you joining us for the first of our events. All week long, we're doing virtual. We're still having a great time. And tonight we have Blues Through Poetry hosted by Poet Brenda Bunting. And our Blues Week is hosted by the wonderful Ida Campbell from WPFW. Don't forget the blues. Ida,
hey everybody.
So good to have you.
Hey,
good
Ida.
to have you.
It's good to see everybody.
Can you tell us a little what's going on this week?
Yeah, I am Ida Campbell from WPFW Radio. Don't forget the blues. Every Friday from 12 noon to 1. And if you don't get your blues on Friday, I play no depressing blues. Understand that. I get you ready for the weekend, okay? I have been the host, the MC, and I tell you, for the Silver Spring Blues Festival for the last 12 years from their inception.
Yeah,
and I don't claim, and I'm a volunteer, okay? So a lot of people don't do this job for being a volunteer, and that's important. So I'm so glad to be here with everybody. Well, we got a lot of things going on with the festival. And so let me see right here. Okay, today, I'm just gonna give you a little rundown and then I'm gonna turn it over to Miss Brenda, who's got some fabulous things to tell you. On Monday, which is today, we're gonna have Blues Through Poet. I am interested in that. I've never heard that, and I know it's gonna be off the chain. And that's gonna be open mic. It's hosted by none other than Poet Brenda Bunting. And so we're gonna do that. And Tuesday, we're gonna have Sweet Bitter Blues, Washington, D.C.'s own homemade blues with authors Frank, Matthias, and Phil Wiggins, who will perform. Wednesday, blues, we're gonna have a blues movie, Crossroads, with post-film discussion hosted by Professor David Rothman. And you know what? We're going to have a whole lot of other stuff. So you make sure that you don't miss not an evening. What else you going to do at 6 p.m. but watch the story? Okay. So Brenda, it's on, girl. It's your turn.
Great. At 8 p.m. At 8 p.m. our events are happening this week.
Yeah, and you know what? I got people calling in. You got Leslie Young from New Jersey. You're gonna have people all around the country calling in.
Right.
Hi,
yeah.
Brenda.
Well, cool. Well, Brenda, let me introduce Brenda too. Thank you so much, Ida. And I just wanted to point out, Ida mentioned tomorrow we have a book talk with authors Frank Matthias and Phil Wiggins, who will also be performing on harmonica. And they are going to be speaking about their new book, Sweet Bitter Blues, Washington, D.C.'s Homegrown Blues. That's tomorrow at 8 p.m. All of our events this week are at 8 p.m. And all of our events are made possible with generous support from Montgomery County, United Therapeutics, the Arts and Humanities of Montgomery County, Montgomery College, Maryland State Arts, and many others, including this month's sponsor, Club Pilates in downtown Silver Spring. And I would like to introduce our host for the evening, Poet Brenda Bunting, who is just an awesome poet and all-around person. She's hosted so many of our poetry gatherings. Brenda is a poet and the author of Poems of Love and Violence in Between Life and Death, first and second editions. Her work appears in numerous publications, online and in print. She's been a featured poet at live events, virtually on television and blog radio. Brenda is an insightful poetry workshop facilitator and spoken word artist with a passion for equality and racial, social, and environmental justice. Brenda has her BA in English and is a certified life coach. She is a life member of the Kentucky State Poetry Society and is working to complete her next books of poetry. Check out her artist page on Facebook at facebook.com/PG/BDB poet. So now I will turn it over to our hostess for the evening, Brenda Bunting. Take it away.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that great introduction. I am so excited. Oh my goodness, I'm rubbing my hands. I have some special surprises for us. I have some wonderful people who have already indicated that they wanted to participate in this open mic. And you all, it's about the blues, it's about poetry, it's about life, it's about resilience. It's about joy, it's about sadness, and we're gonna do a little bit of all of that right away. So I don't wanna waste a whole lot of time talking. I'm gonna get right to the people who I already know who are gonna be sharing their work. And I ask that you all just go ahead, if you will, and just do one performance or one poem. And if we have time to circle back, we will. I don't want it to be rushed. I want everybody to take a deep breath and relax, enjoy themselves, have a good time. And just really, really just think about how wonderful it is that we are all still here. In my poem, Modern Day Blues, I talk about that, about the fact that we have went through some blue times with COVID and lost some people were sick and everything else. So we are just so happy to be able to celebrate the time that we have here. And let's get started. So I took this directly from poets.org because I just thought it was such a great way to introduce the set. But one of the most popular forms of American poetry, the blues poem, stems from the African American oral tradition and the musical tradition of the blues. A blues poem typically takes on themes such as struggle, despair, and sex. It often not necessarily follows a form, but when it does, it's a statement made within a first line, a variation is given in the second line, and an ironic alternative is declared in the third. African-American writer Ralph Ellison said that although the blues are often about struggle and depression, they are also full of determination to overcome difficulty through sheer toughness of spirit. This resilience in face of hardship is one of the hallmarks of the blues poems. Some of the great blues poets include Sterling A. Brown, James Wyndon Johnson, and Langston Hughes. So we got some great blues poets here tonight. So we're gonna get started right away. So I'm gonna try to, what I'm gonna try to do is just go ahead and call you and let you know the next couple of poets that are coming. And so I think what I wanna do to get everything started off, if she doesn't mind, I would like to have our set start off with Miss Catrice Greer, and that's going to be followed by, why don't we do Miss Diane Wilbon Parks, who's a wonderful poet, and then we'll follow that by Lady Di. So we'll do those 1, 2, 3, because those are poets that I know are ready to go. So just a little bit about Miss Catrice. Now, some of you, I don't have your introduction. If you want to say a little something about yourselves and something about the poem, please feel free, and then, proceed on from there, and we'll just go from there. So with Catrice, she's a 2021 Pushcart Prize nominee and a former poet in residence at Cheltenham, I think I'm saying it right, Poetry Festival in Cheltenham, UK. Catrice Greer is a literary artist, emerging narrator, and performance poet who resides in Baltimore, Maryland. Her work addresses a wide range of topics, the human condition, including healing, mental health awareness, science, and spirituality. So For tonight's literary artist focus, she's continuing in the blues legacy from Bessie Smith to Billie Holiday with a blues foundation. So we're gonna let Miss Catrice, ooh, I love it, look at you. We're gonna let her take it away. Go ahead, Catrice.
Good evening, everyone. Pleasure to meet you. My name is Catrice Greer, and you got it right, Brenda. It was Cheltenham. Excellent. Thank you so much for a great introduction. So for me, I wanted to create or illuminate the legacy a little bit between Bessie Smith and Billie Holiday. Although Billie Holiday, we know her as a jazz artist, she admired Bessie Smith a great deal. And Bessie Smith's last recordings were done with producer John Hammond in 1933. And interestingly enough, a few days later, working with Hammond herself, Billie Holiday went into the same studio and cut her first record. It was literally handing over the torch. So the linkage I have is I have a book in my library here, and it is called Blues Legacies and Black Feminism by Angela Davis. And what I want to highlight is, using my own work, is that these women gave us the ability to speak with autonomy about our intimate lives, our love lives, our joys, our pains in love. So my poem is called Pick Me, and it is going to be featured in Ice Flow Press, along with the audio of the sung version, the full performance version. It's part of the pandemic series, and it is about people who felt very lonely during the pandemic, and it is about a woman who chooses herself. I use the allegory of an orange orchard, and I speak through oranges. So let's get to it. Consider it a song poem. In the orchard they hang, swaying in the morning's breath, long since ripened, dry, puckered rinds, leathered, turning on the nub, drinking the dawn and the dew, each one swaying. Pick me, pick me. These waters run deep, running, running free. Pick me in the sun when the day's done. Oh, pick me. These waters run deep, running, running free. Pick me, pick me. Which one? This one, nimble, peeling back its pebbled skin, hiding the sheathed face of her fruit. Unthreads the pith. Gentle, gentle, each ribbon strand spinning gold, setting her free from imprisoned rind, setting her free, pulling back stubborn membranes, the opaque veil of her sectioned. Despite embittered seas, she is there swimming, juiced, shedding her skins, her fruity soul skinless, dripping, cradled in the lush grasses sprung to hold her up. The fall was a jump. She chose herself. These waters run free, running, running free. Pick me in the sun when the day is done. Pick me. These waters run deep, running, running free. Pick me, pick me, pick me. Thank you. Have a good program, everyone.
Ooh, thank you. That was fabulous. And you're getting some comments in the chat. Oh my goodness. Who knew you had such a nice singing voice? Wow, you sound really good. Absolutely, your poetry and your singing was just very, very nice. So thank you for that, Catrice, and thank you for that background. All right, so next is a poet of excellence from Prince George's County. She is also the author of The Wisdom of Blue Apples. She's an all-around wonderful person. She served our country, a veteran from the Air Force, and just recently has done, she just does so much poetry in the Prince George's County, and she's an international poet. She's been published in Ireland as well. So just sit back and relax for our next entertainment, and this is going to be wonderful. Miss Diane Wilbon Parks.
Thank you so much, Brenda. This is a pleasure. I'm enjoying it. And I really enjoy Catrice's voice. She has a beautiful voice. Now, mine is a little bit different. I don't really have a background, but of course I love jazz singers and musicians. My father used to play jazz at home all the time. And I love Miles Davis, Dizzy Gillespie, Dave Brubeck. I mean, the list goes on and on. But this poem that some of you may have heard, because I have read this poem before, and it's just a little play on words, and it's actually it's called Words Groove. And I added a couple of lines to it, so I'm hoping that it'll be a smooth ride for you. So it is entitled again, Words Groove. Play this word until it stretches into a chord, until it flows on vinyl into a needle, chasing the grooves of this poem. Take this foot tapping, blues snapping, Mississippi River clapping blues, and shake the wind loose in this poem. Play these words until they become more than rhythms and isms, until these words reaches into the base of your soul, where rhyme and rhythm becomes rock and roll, blues and soul, jazz is sweet and low. Play these words until the jukebox in this poem becomes a shapeless hum, until melodies roll inside notes that hide inside melodies that slide and float, until syncopated sound becomes so smooth that spins record into silk and silk into soothe. Oh, these words spiraling down the throat of Miles Davis' horn, where Lucille and BB are still king in this poem. This jazz, this trumpet, Donald Byrd's horn, this soul that simmers and sway in Louis Armstrong's song, this piano, these voices, this beat, this drum, this shapes the bluesy blues in this poem. This paper, these words are waiting to become an invitation to a needle writing the grooves of this poem, turning and twisting towards the tip end of this song where jazz and blues beats the drum. Words play inside the bitter blues velvet that shakes the country into bones, that bends the ribs and knees of this poem. This jazzy, this raspy blues, this song, trace the rhythm and rhyme that cruises the natural hues of this poem. Finger the keys of a piano from the sheet of music that dances and prances in this poem while the rhythm catches its breath, then beats the drum from the soul of this paper and the music it becomes. Thank you.
Woo! Rock that blues, baby, rock it. Play these words. I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness, you do not disappoint, Miss Wilbon. So pick me, Catrice, and play these words, Miss Diane. And so we're going to move to another poet of excellence, who also is one of the poets in the Voices of Woodlawn that is going to be coming up for the Juneteenth celebration. And also Diane Wilbon Parks is one of the poets of of Woodlawn, and it talks about kind of the history of the 90 souls who were slaves there that really weren't talked about, but who really were taking care of that plantation at the time and how it's been preserved. So she is also known as the love poet, and she's a wonderful cook and just an all-around warrior, and just really appreciate her presence everywhere, wherever she is. Sylvia Beverly, known as Lady Di.
Thank you so much, Brenda, especially for this invitation. I want to say that I'm also Poet of Excellence for Prince George's County 2020. My poem today is Let's Boogie. I wrote it especially for this occasion. Bluesy lady, bluesy, fine as she wants to be, oh so naturally, not just in polished words. She talks, watch her sachet strut. Yeah, it's in her assured walk. Her journey covers decades of ups and downs. Taking bitter with sweet. Pardon me, don't turn charming smile into a frown. Oh, so bluesy, baby. So much wisdom. Get up, take a nature walk in golden sunshine. Let warmth of sun add a stunning rainbow's glow in sky. Enjoy robin redbreast, cardinals, and blue jays as they fly by. Oh, bluesy lady, don't you cry. Head held high, look at tranquil sky. There's a full moon tonight. Looks awesomely gorgeous. Light a fragrant candle. Put moving jazz on Victrola. Come on, bluesy lady, let's boogie. Dedicated to Brenda Bunting.
Oh,
Thank
my
you, Brenda.
goodness. Thank you. That is beautiful. Thank you so much, Lady Di. I love it. And you know, I love your hats and I love that voice.
Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, thank you for coming. Yes, yes. So listen, now this would not be a blues through poetry event if we didn't have some singers. You know, I mean, I know it's about the poetry, y'all, but we got to throw some singers in there. And so I've got some talent, I've got some musicians, I've got a singer for you, and Miss Lisa Marie Williams has recently come from the West Coast. She sang the national anthem at the Lakers game. She's a recording artist. She has a blog show that she does. Check her out. She's all over social media. She has Lisa Marie Williams Sings on YouTube. She's on Facebook. And just dynamite. She's moving up the charts in urban influencer. I think she's like at number 14 right now. And she has come because, you know, I got it like that. No. But she has come to sing for us tonight. And so I just can't wait to hear her pipe through. And anything you want to say additionally, feel free, Lisa. Miss Lisa Marie Williams.
Hi guys, how are you doing? I am so glad to be here, and I'm glad that Brenda invited me to sing. So I'm gonna do a little George Benson, who's kind of jazzy blues, This Masquerade. LisaMarieSings.com is where you can find me. I hope you enjoy this. Are we really happy with this lonely game we play? Looking for words to say. But not finding understanding anywhere. We're lost in a masquerade. Both afraid to say we're just too far away from being close together from the start. We tried to talk it over, but the words got in the way. We're lost inside this
No, hey,
lonely
but
place.
music
I
doesn't come over the same well. If you do it on a regular basis, you'll find see it in and out, in and out.
no matter how hard
Music doesn't
I
pick up
try
all over this Zoom mic.
to understand the reasons that we carry on this way. We're lost in a masquerade. Masquerade.
Thank you. Thank you. So
Thank you.
beautiful. Absolutely. That low, I remember when I first heard you, it shocked me. I said, "Ooh, it's low." I was not expecting that. So, okay, so we are going to pick up, and we also have a fabulous harmonica player. Oh my goodness. I remember the first time, you know how you hear somebody and you just look at them because you're like, wow, all of this talent is coming out of this body, out of this person, like for a long time. It's real and consistently. You know, I always said one day, I said, I'm gonna do something with Mr. Cliff Barnier because he is just fabulous. But listen, he's moving and he's shaking and he's all over the place. So I had to get in where I could fit in to maybe do something with him. So we're gonna listen to him now, and he whatever it is he wants to do, the harmonica and the poem, he does them both. Yeah, and they're both fabulous. So Mr. Cliff Barnier.
Thank you, Brenda. So what I thought I'd do is a poem called All the Rivers, and it's a blues poem. And it's a celebration of the rivers of the world, and also the various forms of music in the world that are like the blues. Every culture has its form of blues, and this is a celebration of those kinds of blues. This poem was set to music by a Portuguese world music duo that I record with, and it's available on Spotify and Apple Music and Bandcamp. The name of the group is Accumulated Dust, and it's on an EP called Post-Columbian America that I'm featured on. And they did a really great job of putting this to music.
You want to put that in the
So-
chat if you want to, Cliff. You can, when you get a moment, if you want to. And I'm sorry, anybody else who has information like that, if they want to put it in the chat, because I'm actually interested in that. So sorry about that.
Sure, yeah. I just got back from a harmonica conference / workshop in Florida, and with some of the best players in the world. And so I'm pretty jazzed up about playing these. Just got back last night. So it's called All the Rivers. All the rivers run to the Mississippi. The Amazon, the Nile, the Yangtze, the Ganges, the piranhas, the dows, the ducks, and the dead. From Itasca to the source they come, the Ob, the Euphrates, revolutionaries and reeds, refractions of silt and of self, on longboats and junks, tugboats and rafts, the Lena, the Congo, the Yellow, the Seine. All the rivers run to the Mississippi. Ride the steamers from Dubuque to Davenport, from Hannibal to Lewis, prism of hardship and pain. The Thames, the Mekong, by fado, flamenco, gospels, spirituals, bolero, and tango. From Jackson to Memphis, Helena to Clarksdale, pour their stories into the Delta, their sorrows into the redemption of song. All the rivers run to the Mississippi. The Volga, the Rhine, Nantaro, Nyabarongo, by headwaters and streams, Morna, Enka, Bossa, and Chant. Hop the paddle boats from Nosedale to Greenville, steer the barges from Vicksburg, Baton Rouge, Natchez to New Orleans, a confluence of currents, the Zambezi, the Yukon, the Purus, the Brahma, because all the rivers run to the blues. Thank you.
Thank you. Woo, I love it. All the rivers run to the blues. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, it makes me want to get up and do something, y'all. We're going to have to start getting live again, but it's pretty live. It's pretty live in the virtual space. So we really appreciate you so much, Cliff, and all the other poets and artists who has performed. It's just been very wonderful. So now we're going to hear from Miss Patty Ross. Patty is with the Maryland Writers Association. She does a First Fridays poetry event. She is based in Baltimore. She's just a wonderful poet, all around great person. And, some people are just like a steady Eddie and on the poetry scene, and that is what she is. So appreciate her so much, and so happy that her and everyone who has come is here. So anything that she would like to say, take it away, Miss Patty.
Hey, Brenda, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You would put me after Cliff, right? Like, oh, wow. The Mississippi is running deep up in here, okay? Lisa Marie had me going, and then like Cliff, I'm like, oh my gosh, the family, right? So it's just like so exciting. Thank you so much for inviting me and allowing me to speak. So this is so those of you that don't know me, I'm Patty Ross, aka Little Pie. I'm a poet and a spoken word artist. I have a chapbook that's coming out next month. It's called St. Paul Street Provocations, and it's from the period between 2010 2013 that I lived in Baltimore on St. Paul Street, which is just south of, I lived one block south of North Avenue. Between St. Paul runs between Greenmount and Howard. So if anybody knows the area, it's an interesting area. Station North, I think they might have renamed it something else now. You know, it's had a lot of different names. It's just above Midtown. So and that book will be out in July. This particular poem is not in there because I realized it was a blues night, and so so I'm just gonna read my poem called 13 Blues. How do I tell this story? I lived behind Church's Fried Chicken, hated the smell of used grease and rotten potatoes, but loved the $2 special on Tuesday night. It was better than Sunday dinner. How do I tell this story? I used to stay out late as possible, sneaking in past the lamplight as if on a mission impossible. I pass the door that never opens and ascend to the small bedroom upstairs. Their hope lies in the closed room downstairs, not for me. My mother dripping in her boyfriend's reality. How do I tell this story? Miss Francis, the neighbor, she tried twice to burn her house down with her kids inside. She said it was too hard to feed them. She loved them enough not to leave them, so she set herself on fire, screaming at a world that lacked understanding of her baby boys' names. Rest in peace, King James, Duke Edward, Prince Peter. How do I tell this story? Understanding being misunderstood. You see, I had a single mother who only threw matches when she was certain to burn something down, never willing to burn anything for me, for she could not see my burning desire to be seen. You see, at 13, I was learning the blues. How do I tell this story? I tried my best to make no request because I knew that one ride on the back of his motorcycle was worth more than decorating my room. I knew that my thoughts were my opinions of him and that they didn't matter because, as a matter of a fact, I was lucky that I had a roof over my head. You see, any talk that was different was dead. How do I tell this story? Oftentimes I would lay in my bed and begin to realize that everything else would take a precedence over my presence because, you see, I was a guarantee. Like a $2 box of chicken on Tuesdays, I would always be there on the menu. Mama, I was the one that loved you. Thank you. That's it.
Wow. Oh, 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 you told that story, Patty.
How did I tell this story?
You told that story. Yes. Oh, thank you so much. Wow. Wow. That was just awesome. Thank you thank you, everyone. And hey, don't forget to go back, you guys, check out the chat. There's some great information, some great comments, lots of love and positivity and everything in there. And that's what we're about today. I mean, we're gonna be taking the blues by the hand and say, hey, we're gonna lift you up a little bit, lift it up. But yes. Okay, so next we are going to hear from Mr. Bernardo. He is part of Collective Voices, which is a group that deals with social issues, and they have spoken everywhere. They're internationally known and based in Washington, D.C. He's an excellent poet here in Prince George's County, and just looking forward to hearing to what it is that he has to say. Whatever it is that you want to add to that, Bernardo, please feel free. And then also I would like to add, we're going to hear after that from Joanne Gromley. She's going to, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your last name, but she's going to be doing something as well. So now after that, if there's other people who would like to share a poem, if you would please put that in the chat so I'll know, and I'd be happy to go ahead and also call your name as well. Okay, so here we are with Bernardo.
Good evening. Good to see everybody. My name is Bernardo. I am the sing-song poet. I have been working as a sing-song poet in the DMV and worldwide for about 20 years, but I've been writing for 5 decades. My poetry covers the full gamma of human experience. I'm a poet and a songwriter and a poet of excellence in Prince George's County. As Brenda mentioned, I'm also a member of the Collective Voices currently, and I'm a former member of the Poets of Excellence, Poets in Progress, I'm sorry, of the late Dolores Kendricks. So my poetry goes everywhere from Shakespeare to the alleyway, you know. And tonight, lately I came across this book, this manuscript of collection of poems of mine that I wrote years ago called Sprint, Tales of the Spirit. And I was going to do Inner City Blues for you because it's that 50-year anniversary of that particular song, and I wrote a poem to it. But after hearing Lisa Marie, I don't know if I want to touch the singing tonight. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll warm up. But I found this old piece that talks about the blues. This piece is called Roberta, and it starts with a prologue that says, I wonder if she cries or feels a heaviness inside when she hears certain songs like I do. Strumming my face with her fingers, singing my life with her words, killing me softly with her song, killing me softly with her song, telling my whole life with her words, killing me softly. Roberta is killing me softly, though I don't think she means to. It's not like she knows me and is intentionally throwing words that prick like darts to pierce my wounded heart again. She could not know that she would leave, or she would have sent another song to me. She would have told me not to love so strong, not to trust so much. For we poets, we muses, we mystics, we gifted seers, we touch, we feel deep. We feel each other and we feel for each other. So I know she would have sent another song to me, a warning, but I don't even know if she wrote the song. I did not check the credits. And I'm a songwriter. I always check the credits. You know, the one who leaves always takes the credit. They take the credit for being the one who hung in there as long as they could, gave it everything they had, but it was just not working out for them, so they cash in their commitment and they leave. Too bad. Strange, they always take the credit, never want the blame. I never saw it coming. I was not in denial. I saw the problems, but only as trials that love must go through to be strong, to be true. I kept believing we would work it out. And when I found out it was over, it was over. It hit me like a train wreck. Can you imagine the tragic sound of something rushing, then breaking and screeching and pleading and crashing and crumpling, bending, twisting, snapping, ending? Every ending is a new beginning. Is that why I'm drawn to play this song over and over again? Maybe this is part of my mending, a part of my tragic lessons learned, and we all have turns. Losing someone, something. Roberta is reaching me in a deep, bleak space. She is beseeching me to see. Roberta is killing me softly, but that is not the song. Roberta is teaching. there's more to love, I know, than making love. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I remember you. Thank you.
Oh wow, Bernardo. You are the sing-song poet. Thank you so much for that piece. And I mean, everybody just has so much passion and so much zest, so much power. And you know, that brings to the spirit, man. That just adds to the energy and it's just wonderful. So I appreciate all of you all so much. It is wonderful. So next we are going to hear from Joanne Growney. She is going to be sharing a piece. She has been a community member of the Silver Spring area for a while, and she's a poet. She talks about the relation between poetry and mathematics. I'm still going to do a poem on that because it's just such a fabulous concept. I really, really like it. So I'm so glad to see you. So glad that you came. And if you would like to add something, please do. I'm looking forward to hearing your piece.
Okay, I feel like I'm a collection of opposites. Now I'm in the city, but I spent most of my life in rural Pennsylvania. Now I'm heavily involved in poetry, but I made my living as a math professor who liked poetry. And now I blog about math and poetry. So I'm continually combining opposites. This poem is a lonely poem in a rundown county restaurant in Pennsylvania. And it's called No One Expects Poems from Me. Thanksgiving afternoon at 2 o'clock, a rat runs through the restroom at Perkins, one wall away from chandeliers with green fluted globes, dim against November gray. 7 people order fish and eat indifferently. In a booth with Ma, I dream a stick-up. Give me all the dollars in Mellon Bank. Kids first bullied me in 8th grade, the year Uncle Jack got threats from the Black Hand. Nobody got shot or called police. None of my relatives was on TV. My family picks up the pieces, appears as sane as seashore towns on winter Saturdays, lean and empty, as if Pied Piper recently passed through. But even tourists leave a trace, points of view unspoken or written and erased. Sharing salmon dinner with Ma, my silence heard secrets from other diners. I noted every word. Sliding from his booth, the tall one said, "After a leak, I'll play red music." Perkins pulsed with a fiery beat. I pulled out my red poems. Listen to me read, or I'll rat. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. I love it with Pied Piper coming through. Absolutely wonderful. And just, I always appreciate your voice. Thank you so much for sharing. Next, we are going to hear from Madeline Templeton. And if you would share something about yourself so we can know something about you, however little or much you would like. Looking forward to hearing what it is that you have to say.
Okay, well, firstly, I think I might have added myself with my real name is Madeline Temple Madeline, but I go by Kitty. Kitty is my sort of musical slash poetry name that I go by usually. But I think I must have signed up with my real name today. So that's, I think, why it showed up there like that.
I can change it for you if you like.
Uh, okay, thanks. Kitty, it's like a kitty, like a cat, kitty cat.
Okay.
Anyway, I am a singer-songwriter in the DC local musician community. And I really do relate to the blues because some of my songs have blues background as far as love lost and love searching and things like that in that kind of a bluesy way. So I've picked out a song slash poem that I've written. It has not been recorded yet, but I'm hoping to record it sometime in my life. But it's called My Precious Heart. When I saw you standing there, it was then I knew I ought to beware, 'cause I felt it everywhere to be close to you. In the evening when it was dark, under the stars out in the park, that's when you held my hand and sat next to me. That's the night I knew it was true. All the feelings I had for you came to me lit like a spark. To me, it was quite a surprise to be taken by such love in disguise. My heart went straight from me into you. My heart, my precious heart, you have my one and only heart. You had it from the start, my precious heart. Since that night it went into you, I haven't figured out just what to do. Seems like I gave it to you, my precious heart. For when I saw you sitting there, sipping ale at the fair, that's when I knew I gotta beware of my precious heart. That's when I realized I needed you so. My heart, my precious heart, you have my one and only heart. You had it from the start, my precious heart. Now that you've gone away, you'd said you'd see me maybe one day, but I was hoping you would stay with my precious heart. My heart, my precious heart, you have my one and only heart. You had it from the start, my reckless heart.
Thank you so much, Kitty, for that. Precious heart. Yes, I appreciate you sharing. And it's nice to meet someone. It's another person, singer, songwriter from the community. So that is wonderful. And in addition to that, we want to take the time to acknowledge our community partners for Blues Week. It is WPFW-FM, the DC Blues Society, and the Archie Edwards Blues Heritage Foundation. And that ensemble will perform this Friday at 8 o'clock. So, you know, everyone who signed up for this particular event, you also have the link for the virtual blues festival that's going to be happening this week. So it's going to be really some exciting performances, and we definitely hope that you will come out and join. And so now we're going to hear from Neha Mishra. She is a Silver Spring Town Center Board of Director member. She's a poet, she's an artist, just a wonderful, wonderful lady. And I'm always happy to have her in the room and to just hear her and just enjoy her energy. Neha?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Brenda. And it's so amazing to hear all the beautiful poetry and singing. So thank you all so much. You know, I think if I remember correctly, Clifford was saying how the soul of blues is shared across you know, different cultures in the world in different ways. So I wanted to read this piece from Nikki Giovanni's brand new book. It's called Make Me Rain. And I got lucky, she's an elder I love so much, to get a signed copy. So this is a piece from her book. It's called The Counting Song that I wanted to share with everybody. It's a prose piece, and she says, "The Counting Song. When I was a little girl, there were things called record albums. Some of them would have what was called a bonus song at the end. So you thought you were getting something extra. Sort of like going to the grocery store and seeing a buy one, get one free without realizing you could buy one for 50 cents. I asked my class what the folk in Europe and Russia had in common with the people enslaved in America or working in the coal mines of Appalachia. Neither group could read or write, and a lot of effort was put into making sure they could not. The folk developed folk tales to help their children understand the world, and the enslaved created songs. But what was most important to both groups was that their children could count. If you could count, you could not easily be cheated. You were never going to get enough, but you could come closer to getting your fairer share. The enslaved and the folk made up songs and rhythms that when the masters heard them, they thought only of the rhythm. How cute, they would say, and go on about their business. If they understood the children were learning to count, it would have been an ugly scene. I asked my writing class to create a counting song, and since I'm supposed to be a writer, I thought it only fair that I create or try to create one too. So here is your bonus poem, The Counting Song. Give me 1 pound of hamburger, 2 fresh hen eggs, 3 shakes of salt, 4 pepper shots, 5 ounces of tomatoes, 6 pieces of bacon that equals 1 great big smile, 2 happy grandparents, 3 cats just waiting, 4 outdoor dogs, 5 jealous neighbors, 6 full tummies, and you have all the numbers you need. Let's dance, let's dance, let's dance. Did I forget 1 large onion cut in 4 equal parts, 2 pieces of bread toasted, then pulled into 6 equal parts? Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Neha, for sharing Nikki Giovanni's poem. That was just wonderful. And I just think she's such an excellent poet and has just really just given us so much. And like Bernardo was saying, yeah, she teaches. She definitely teaches. And so that was wonderful. Okay, and now we're going to hear from, I want to say Miss Uma Pearl. If you would like to introduce yourself and share your piece, we look forward to it.
Hey, hey guys, I'm Oma. My hair is a mess. I was sort of working out today, so I was like, oh, I look kind of rough. I do perform. I'm a blues musician. I've performed at some of the Silver Spring events like in the past, but I kind of moved away from the area. I am a singer. I'm a songwriter. Not much of a poet really, but I do have one poem that I'd like to share that's appropriate, I think, for this. Now, it's a poem that I kind of just wrote because I am a one person like song identifying machine. Like I can name songs from the 20s as well as I can name songs from the 2020s, from the 1920s. So my specialty is blues women. I don't perform as many songs like as far as covers, as far as men are concerned. I do some, but the women are my heroes because I feel like they are the ones who push society forward. And I think they don't get enough credit for what they do for our culture, blues women. And I think Catrice mentioned, you know, Bessie Smith and Billie Holiday and everything like that. And I think there's so many more out there that don't give, they don't get their due. So I always open my shows by pouring libation and calling their names and things like that. But here is my perspective so that everybody can understand that they're still here. All right. And there's a bit of language, just a bit, but everybody over here is over 18, right? This is, if we're talking blues, we're not talking children's music, which I also have a different children's music act, but that's beyond the point. All right. Ma Rainey shook her black bottom so that Megan Thee Stallion could twerk. Betty Wright's cleanup woman started her shift after Bessie's washerwoman put in work. Until you were kissing in the dark with Memphis Minnie, you could not get into Cardi B's WAP. Victoria Spivey's Black Snake Moan let Little Kim's magic stick go pop. Big Mama Thornton called out her hound dog, while Millie Jackson herself was feeling bitchy. And if you cross Nina Simone, she'll put a spell on you because her love was binding and witchy. See, blues women pushed us all out of prudish boxes while being demonized and called loose. But if we can't get with the blues women inside and around us, our lives will be missing all the flavor and half the juice. That's it.
That is great, Oma. I mean, that's it. That's wonderful. Oh, I love it. And I love that.
And
I need to get a copy of that so I can say it on the radio.
And so Memphis Minnie is one that's really, really close to me. Like I literally can feel her sitting on my shoulder when I perform sometimes. And one time when I messed up one of her songs, I could feel her slap my hand. Like I swear, like I'm very much into spirit. And she was like, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna improvise this. And she was like, no, you're not.
Right. Well, I'm so glad you're back in this area. We look forward to.
Oh, well, no, I'm virtual. I just keep track of everything in Silver Spring. Like I live in Southern Maryland now, but I still love everything you all have going on. So I appreciate it.
Oh, wow.
Good to see you, Oma. We love your singing as well. And hope to have you back.
Oh, I'll sing a little ditty for you guys whenever.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we're I'm glad you're not too far.
Yeah, I'm still generally I'm within a driving distance.
Cool. Okay. So great to see you.
Okay, so that everybody who wanted to sign up and who added their names to me on the chat I have, is there anyone else who would like to share a piece? Anyone who didn't get an opportunity to?
You don't have my name on your list?
And I'm sorry, who's speaking?
I'm saying my name's Roger Lowenthal.
Yes, I do. I didn't see your name on the, there you are. Yeah, okay. I don't know how I was looking for you and for some reason I didn't see your name. So I'm so glad that you're here. I thought maybe you didn't come. So yes,
okay.
We have Mr. Roger Lowenthal who has come and is going to share a poem with us. So thank you for speaking up. I appreciate that.
Okay. So these poems were written in 2012, and they have some very current references to them. This is for Zora Neale Hurston. Escape from the Jim Crow world to something more personal, a broken heart, a cheating love, more painful than the white man's wit. Escape from daily exploitation to alcohol amnesia. Saturday nights, a small edge of freedom, always better than parchment. If you had music skills, drink was free, and maybe a woman who will accept a one-night stand. Degradation, oppression will not define me. Patience and planning lead to opportunity. The great migration calls. Blues, maybe sexual, even pornographic, represents only a small part of a complex oral history. It is dishonest to deny their legitimacy. One way to accept the weight of racism, music, densely coded, not meant for the oppressor to hear or understand. Some bluesmen, like Big Bill, were invited to perform at white parties, but the inherent racism devalued him as an individual. The North was not without its haters, but taking a chance to earn $20 was certainly more than 75 cents a day. The Great Migration participants were less than a generation removed from the Tulsa Rosewood slaughter. For whites, the myth of depravity was the norm. For Negroes, the relationship to land was almost balanced by pride and resentment, imprisonment and liberation, transience and instability. These Black violent lives are described by Zora Neale Hurston, who finds people with ambition and intelligence, who thought they established their own town, are not immune to the violent rages of white neighbors, rages triggered by unsubstantiated rumors. Thank you.
That was wonderful. Thank you so much for adding and coming. Really, really appreciate it. It's very powerful. And it was current, you're right.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, so I think that was everyone. And I am so happy to have all of you in the room, man. It just has been phenomenal, and it just adds up so much. So we have a little bit of time left. So since we have a little bit of time left, I thought I'd share my piece. If we didn't have any time left, I wasn't going to, but since we have a little bit of time left, I'll share mine. And then if anybody has like maybe a last minute comment or question or something like that that they want to say, we'll have a few minutes of that. So I titled this Modern Day Blues because I'm going to start with names like W.C. Handy, father of the blues, Louis Armstrong, Satchmo, What a Wonderful World, Muddy Waters, Johnny Lee Hooker, Ma Rainey, Bessie Smith, Memphis Mimi, to Ruthie Foster, to B.B. King, and a guitar named Lucille, but the thrill is gone, to Eric Clapton, Taj Mahal, Lightning Hopkins, Howling Wolf, and Leadbelly. Etta James would rather go blind. She may not have seen the blackbirds Betty LaVette was singing about in the dead of night. But now, in popular culture, we got Jovan Webb tied to a whipping post when his mother died, but on American Idol, he found his star and shined. Greg Copeland across the waters in Germany, along Blues Edge with love and admiration. Durecco in Italy, known as the father of Italian blues. Blues singers painted life with their music. The dawning edges of a morning crescendo rose to meet the hummingbird chorus, the moaning quiet as moth wings. Modern day blues have gone global and lives on almost every street corner in wearing a homeless man's clothes to a big bottom brown girl who found trouble in the shape of her body early in life. Jazz and blues were born twin planets, circling each other in a soul fire birthed from a mother's agony and a father's despair. Root and rocks gripped themselves in her hair, washed them up on shores of strangeness, where shuddering secrets gaped wordless until the earth gathered together instruments of wood and instruments of brass and strings and keys. The blues could not be contained. It spilled out like a pyroclastic flow, burning and searing, a deep commentary. Who got the blues? hands holding faceless refrains that lie open-eyed on the ground in discordant murmurs. Don't you hear them? The raspy edge of pain from a soulful voice with guitar strings and a horn shouting, and harmonica swells with drum beats that matches heart beating in the most beautiful expression. But we're gonna knock out all that depression, because what I'm here to say is we're gonna celebrate life and resiliency. And we have overcome, and we will continue to rise up. And all I can say is take another sip to the peach wine and live your life and feel fine. All right, so does anyone have any last points or anything that they want to say? I hope you guys have had a really good time. I certainly have. I had a good old time. I hope y'all have too. And I hope it was time well spent. And I really, really appreciate everyone who came. Anything else that you wanted to say?
Hey,
Lisa?
Brenda.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, hi, it's Patrice. I have a poem. I came late, but if you have time, I can read it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely,
Okay.
yes.
All right. It's with the theme of the blues. It's called Beating Mr. Blues. Let the everyday blues run its course by Friday afternoon, just in time to thumb a ride away to a weekend retreat, far from the downbeat moods of sighs and cries that tell a story and almost never lie. Go where the music will play endlessly and restless, frenzied feet can spark heat as they scurry to the floor for a long-awaited welcome relief, to enjoy the soulful sounds of smooth jazz, reggae, and even some sweet and mellow R&B. Goodbye, Mr. B. Go away and let me be. Tonight, just let me be me. Hang out where you can throw back your head and laugh and drink or sing and release your daring dance to the fast-paced beat, or sway in slower motions that will quietly take your hand and lead you far away somewhere from all the things that make you want to care. Goodbye, Mr. B. Go away tonight and let me be. Just let me be me. Escape for a while, surrendering to this feel-good time, forgetting about how you left him standing on the dark corner all alone, hanging out until Monday morning, when he'll somehow try to make his comeback into the heart of those who brood all week about their trying times and their weary woes, words that will get lost in their monotones. Everybody's got a story or two about their ordinary weekday blues, unless you got a real hole in your empty soul. Then, of course, there's a chance you don't understand and you'll never know. That's it.
Thank you. I'm so glad you shared that. Yes.
I was trying to get there.
Day blues.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Always
all
love
got a story about the blues.
Yes, we
Amen
do.
to that.
That is not some leftover art form and way back when. It's current day, definitely. So current.
Definitely.
So well, thank you everyone once again, and I will turn it over to Lisa for any remarks. And if anybody has anything else they want to say, I'll try to catch you if I see you, like in the chat or something like that.
Thank you so much, Brenda, for hosting another wonderful poetry program. You never fail to amaze, dazzle and delight. All the poets were just awesome. Thank you so much for being a part of Silver Spring Town Center's community and a part of our Silver Spring Blues Festival week. And we hope you join us for more this week. Now I'll turn it over to the wonderful Miss Ida Campbell, WPFW. Don't forget the blues, and she'll bring us out. Take it away, Ida.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Brenda. And thanks to all the wonderful, wonderful poets and all the music, a cappella music. I tell you, I have never heard any blues poems before. So this was my first, and I have truly, truly enjoyed it. I will be talking about all of you all this Friday on the radio, giving you a real big shout out from my heart. I'm going to tell you something. This was really, really good. And from the beginning to the middle to the end, it was lit. And I'm just so glad that I was here. I told Lisa, I'm staying to the end. I have to experience this. And I invited quite a lot of people. I saw some people came on, but when they heard it was poetry and not music, they don't know what they meant. Because I tell you, like you all said, having everybody has the blues. Some people don't want to hear it. They just want to go about their way and they don't want it to affect them. But sooner or later, it creeps on them. But you got to know how to handle it. So that's why I like that last poem, beating that blues away. And I tell you, I could go on and on and on, but we got to go to sleep sometime. So anyway, I want to welcome everybody back tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So and this is the first time we've had to do a virtual event. So I think it's going pretty well. I mean, we'd like to have more people on. It's been publicized and all of that thing, but I thank God for the people that are on, and I appreciate all of you so much. And thank you, Lisa and Brenda, for putting this poetry, this blues poetry on. And I'm gonna let everybody know what they missed on Friday. So with me saying that, you're welcome. Share it on Instagram so other people can join in. Because all of us that are here, one thing I've noticed is that people that, when you do those blues poems, you are helping keeping the blues alive. You really are. Mm-hmm. And you guys are younger than me. I'm senior to everybody. I'll be 70 this year. So with knowing that the young people are doing the blues and poetry, the older people are doing blues and poetry as well, I love every last bit of it. I can't say enough. Lisa, you got it.
Thank you again, Ida. I hope everyone can join us tomorrow.
I'm sorry, it looks like Ken has his hand up.
Okay.
I'll keep it brief. I'm curious to know if any of the ones who actually sang tonight have recorded any CDs, Roma in particular. I'm not a poetry expert, I'm a music guy. But I do have, what would you call them? Some of the people in the music community that I think were very good lyricists are Richard Thompson, Ray Davies, Laura Nero, Marvin Gaye, Randy Newman. Those are the ones that somebody said she lived in Cheltenham. There's an English friend of mine named Steve Ashley, who's, his stuff very much influenced by traditional English ballads. Yes, Lisa, I got it in there. Okay. But yeah, Oma in particular, I'd like to know if you've recorded any CDs. If you've got a second or two to describe what your music is like. I don't know how else to put that. In the past couple of years. Yeah? What? I heard a voice somewhere.
I'm here. I'm listening.
Okay. I mean, I've gotten acquainted with people like Rhiannon Giddens and Martha Redbone and Dom Flemons. And I'm figuring that there's a lot more out there. And I'm very curious about that.
Yeah, I have not finished anything like that I could put out, but I have worked on some things during the pandemic. So I'm hopeful that I can get something out now, but kids in school and virtual. So yeah, I mean, I hope to put some stuff out, and I want to do all originals, which is the time consuming part.
Yeah.
And because a lot of times like my shows are like a few originals, a lot of covers, but you know, I'm working it and I will let you all know.
I mean, you can always do your own interpretations of like traditional folk stuff, however you want to look at that.
Oh yeah, I should have
That would
got on
be-
here and had a song prepared. I mean,
You know,
yeah.
I mean, I can go on and how can I stay in touch with you? Are you on Facebook as Oma Pearl?
Ken, I don't
Yeah,
think
I
you're
still-
recognized.
Huh?
her. This
Yeah,
is Conjure Woman.
Yeah, my
Wait a
cousin
minute,
is
that's
like,
you?
Yeah, that's me.
I didn't
so-
recognize you. It's been a few years.
It has, and like my hair is like bluish now, and
Yeah, I
so-
really liked you as Conjure Woman, and I was always hoping you would come back with more whatever.
yeah, I moved, and so I just was like off the radar, and I just got busy. So I'm doing a lot of social justice activism stuff too. So it's
Yes, you young people are very busy. I can't multitask. I'm going to turn 70 in October, and I didn't grow up with that. You know, I don't know how to do it. What's the best way to stay in touch with you?
you can email Lady O Sings at Yahoo, or give me your email, and then I'll you know,
What was that again?
I'll hit you up.
The notebook, old fashioned.
Okay, Lady O Sings with an S at the end.
Lady O, like Jackie Onassis.
Mm-hmm. Sings
Got it.
at Yahoo.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, and so not yeah, God, like I mean, I was really hoping you would continue.
I'm continuing. I'm just taking it slow, but yep.
Yeah, I mean, I never had kids, so I don't know what that's like, but you know.
So for the folks who don't know Oma Pearl, I first came to know you, Oma, maybe 10 years ago when you were headlined the band Conjure Woman, which did the kind of 30s era blues,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It was a wonderful, wonderful acoustic ensemble, your vocals.
It was a little bit like Carolina Chocolate Drops, and I loved that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were,
Oh,
and they dressed
wow.
also
Yeah.
into the era.
Actually, the guy who's playing with the Don Flemons, who left the Carolina Chocolate
He
Drops
moved to
and went solo.
Chicago.
Yeah. He was auditioning with us, and then he got the thing with Don Flemons, and he was like, "Bye, guys." So we just had like a whole bunch of band transitions. Like one of them moved to Hawaii, and then one of them, you know, so it was just like a whole thing. So where I live now is more rural, so I should be able to find some more people who play banjo and stuff. But
I mean, I just, you know, we could go on about this forever, but I just, you know, thought that the Carolina Chocolate Drops was so
We got 1 more minute left. Go ahead.
was so seminal that it was like, you know, Fairport Convention founded the genre of English folk rock, and Carolina Chocolate Drops, and correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not an expert, kind of, they're sort of like, man, I hope this doesn't sound too horrible, black hippies. And they were taking back stuff that maybe belonged to black performers in the first place.
yeah, black string music, like the banjo is an African instrument.
and
All
I
these
mean,
other
like-
things are African instruments. So they were taking back the roots of black string music that became other types of music. So
Maybe I liked them better doing it because, you know, this is also difficult to articulate.
Thank you, Bush.
Because when other people were doing it, it was a bit stiff, but when they were doing it, it was just live. You know?
Yeah, they're awesome. But hit me up.
Great. Well, so great to have you, Oma. And I see Kitty just has a question or comment.
Yes, I'd like to mention to Ken that I also have a couple of albums out. I have 2 albums out. I'm working on my 3rd right now, and I think it's mostly like folk-ish music. So I just wanted to mention that to you.
And how can people contact you?
Kitty Templeton on Facebook, and that's my usual name to find me, but I can put in the chat my email if that's helpful.
Yes, please put it in the chat. Thank you so much. And I just want to remind everyone tomorrow We have a special book talk with the newly released book, Sweet Bitter Blues, with the authors Frank Matthias and Phil Wiggins. And Phil will be performing on harmonica and telling some stories of DC's blues music scene. That's tomorrow night at 8. Wednesday night is blues movie night with Crossroads. All week at 8 p.m. all week during the week. Thursday we have blues comedy. Friday we have the Archie Edwards Blues Heritage Ensemble. And then we have Bobby Thompson Band performing on Saturday at 2 o'clock, virtual, everything's virtual. And then we have a special artist presentation with Time for Change in the studio with artist Winston Harris, who is a phenomenal artist. And I think his work will resonate with you. So I hope you can join us for all this and more. Use your same Zoom link to join us. Thank you again to our host tonight, Brenda Bunting, and our host for Blues Week, Silver Spring Blues Week, Ida Campbell. We will see you again soon. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.
For coming.
Okay, bye.
Be well and stay safe.
Yeah, you too, Ken.
Bye.
I got here.